Welcome back, viewers. We are discussing on the Obama administration's executive order issued on 28th November. Mr. Willie, you were talking during the break that it is unlikely that they can influence the court on the powers of the Obama administration. What would be the consequences? By the pressure being put by the Republicans.
17 states, that's a large, and including Texas, which is one of the largest states, challenging this executive power of the president is quite formidable, actually. It's going to wind its way through the district court, the circuit courts.
Is it unusual, action?
By the states?
Yeah.
No. One of the things that Mr. Abbott boasts about is that he has sued Obama 30 times. so it is not unusual.
Okay.
But he's taken this matter up, which, theoretically, at some point when it reaches the U.S. Supreme Court, the court being currently the way that it is structured, there are 5 conservative justices and 4 liberals. So if it goes up to the U.S. Supreme Court and on some particular technicality that the U.S. Supreme Court decides that the president overstepped his limits on the exercise of executive power, they could overturn this. But it's unlikely. I think the president is well within the constitutional limits. Matter of fact, they have been preparing for this for 9 months. So every lawyer in the White House and every other constitutional lawyer has probably given them enough advice on how this is going to go. So I doubt that the U.S. Supreme Court will do anything different.
Okay.
One good thing that Obama have done, he's taken a very bold step.
Yes.
Yes.
Otherwise,
if you go back all these presidents, they would think twice.
Yes.
So otherwise, in the face of so much opposition, he could have avoided
because
that.
Yes, he could.
He needs to. He's got 2 years left. If he wants to leave a legacy.
Not only that, this has been a lingering issue since several years.
Right.
So there has to be some solution found, whether interim solution or a final solution. And there is always a disagreement between Democrats and Republicans on this issue. The 17 states, what you're talking about, they are all red states they've sued.
Yes.
So there is no blue state who is suing it.
Yes.
The issue is that solution needed to be found.
Right.
Okay. This is an interim solution and it's a good solution.
A lot of times I tell anywhere I go and we talk about this politics, I say, the difference between us and them, the one who are already Americans, we all are immigrants. This is a land of immigrants.
Yeah.
Only the difference is your ancestors came before ours. That's all.
Right.
So we all are immigrants, and continuously it's going to happen.
Can we say that this is just pressure practice from both sides, and from Republicans and from Democrats also?
Obama's side.
Definitely. I think this is not entirely uncharted waters because the executive powers have been exercised by presidents. Ever since we know for the longest time, all the presidents, whether Republican or Democrats, have used executive powers. But the kind of impact this has on the country, on politics, on future, as you said in your introduction, what consequences it will have in the future, it's going to have enormous consequences. And then one of the things I think the Republicans are worried about is that this country, the demographics is going to change, and the color of the country is going to change.
Yeah,
I
it
think
could be a blue.
that is probably the biggest.
So the whole
problem.
fabric of the society is going to go.
What's going to happen? 2035. Let's say from now to 2035, not even one single immigrant comes, or not even one single Mexican comes here. Whatever is here, 2035, they will be in majority.
Yes.
The main white won't be in majority anymore.
Yes.
So they know that that's what's going to happen.
Statistics say.
Yeah. That's what's going to happen. And if that's going to happen,
So
then
this fear
as
also,
as a
this
Republican
fear
side,
also contributes.
I think it's an enormous, it's an unsaid, unspoken anxiety
Yeah.
that drives a lot of the actions by the Tea Party, the extreme groups in the Republic, not all of them, obviously. But I think this anxiety, this cultural anxiety, I think that's a very dangerous urge.
But they
around
need to
it.
change, that's what, on the Republican side of it, they are still having a hard time accepting it. It's still the old, old money thinking.
Yes.
That, America is changing.
But it's
And that's-
interesting. It's interesting that Jefferson, one of the founders of our country, when they were debating whether to declare English the official language of the United States, they were debating that issue, and then finally, Jefferson persuaded them to say that we should not set an official language for this country, because let the country go where it wants to go. Whether at some point, whether it's going to be Spanish, whether it's going to be Urdu, whether it's going to be French, it doesn't matter. Let the country go where it wants to go. So because that's how they viewed the cultural issues of the country. They did not want to restrain the country in one particular cultural, band. So it's interesting.
So then
that's the
another-
only reason I tell the new generation all the time. Anywhere I go and give a speech, I say, beside English, you must learn Spanish
Yes.
if you want to stay in here. If you want to stay here, which
But
they,
there's
they-
another thing. There is another factor that there are certain number of people whose genuine cases are not still, decided. They are undecided still after 20 years, 15 years. But when we see that these illegal immigrants have been given amnesty for the 3 years, so I think don't you see as an attorney that is unfair?
That question comes up a lot with me. They say, listen, I've been legal here. I've been sitting here for 16 years, and then there are these guys who are coming in. But remember, the folks that are coming who came illegally, this relief to them that the president is giving under the executive order is just a 3-year temporary relief. They're only going to be given work authorization,
Okay.
and they're going to get relief. They're going to come out of the shadows. That's all that's being given. They're not going to be given a green card. But so that people who talk that way are also silenced, the president then issued the pre-registration program, where they don't have to wait that long to file their adjustment of status application. They can now file it after approval of the I-140. So that's a huge relief.
So it's a
But also-
compensation.
It is a balancing act
Yeah.
between that.
See, also, a lot of those people are not paying taxes. They're getting the benefits, using the roads and this and that. All kind of benefits they're getting. They might not get the hospitals and all that stuff, but still, the government will benefit out of it too. To get all the taxes
Social
out of it.
Security and
yeah.
income tax.
Yeah.
That's right.
So at least it's going to, long term, it's going to benefit the country.
So what will happen after 3 years? You think there is a need to have a legislation, another legislation to be passed by the Congress? Or
But I think that's why I think this was a great political move. Because what the Democrats are going to tell the Hispanics is, listen, if a Republican becomes president, he's going to change this. He's going to cancel this.
Yep.
So you better elect a Democratic president.
That's right.
And that's going to draw not just the Hispanic voters, it's going to draw Asian voters, it's going to draw all of the immigrant votes, as they did in both those elections for President Obama.
That's true.
They all came out and voted. So
But I agree with you that Supreme Court will not take sides, because if they restrict the governing power of the president, so it will also apply to a Republican president. So restricting the powers of the president will not be in the interest of the Supreme Court as well.
But
Right.
other
you're
other
absolutely
issue
right.
is,
The courts are very careful with restricting the presidential powers, the powers of the judiciary, powers of the legislature, because these are set in our constitution. There are three branches of government. They don't want one restricting the power of the other. So you're right.
So also, Supreme Court, people think they take a lot of cases. Every year, between 110 to 120 cases. That's all they get. Yeah. I mean, I don't know how many, you would know how many thousands of cases
Yes, they go
filed.
on the social,
Yeah,
right.
yeah.
Yeah.
But there, it's only 110, because I've been there on one of my cases. So it was 110 to 120 a year, that's all. So it's kind of, there are a lot of other things, more important things. And by the time they even get that case, Obama is going to be gone. That's
Well, these kind of go up on an expedited
Expedited
basis because these are of such importance that the courts will take them quickly, but they'll also decide them quickly. So as I said, most likely they will not mess with it. They'll kind of leave it as it is, as you said, Faiz.
It is not the interest of Supreme Court because you cannot restrict the powers of the president given by the Constitution.
Yes.
So,
But the court can review. They have the review, powers.
if they accept it.
Yeah, first of all, they have to accept. First of all, it has to go through the process of going from the lower courts to higher courts.
Yeah.
By the time it reaches there, it could be 3 years already.
Okay.
That's true.
Okay. 3 years.
So,
That's true.
Well, no, matters like this go to the U.S. Supreme Court very quickly. They will pass that on because it
You think they will have to decide, early?
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah, but it'll initially it'll go to the district court in DC, and from DC it'll go to the circuit court in DC. Sometimes it won't even go to the circuit court; it'll go
Straight
straight
to
to the
that.
Supreme Court.
okay, they will not even go to appeals.
No, it won't go the normal route. It'll go right up. But I agree with you that I don't think the U.S. Supreme Court is going to disturb this. The only concern I have is that you said the 17 states, they were all red states. At the U.S. Supreme Court, there are 5 red justices and there are four blue justices. So
I see it a little different.
yes,
I see there are 4 3/4
okay,
and a 4 1/4.
yes, yes.
One of the justices is not that conservative.
It's purple.
And if something happened to Ginsburg,
Yes.
then
Oh, yeah, yeah.
So here we have to take a break. Viewers, this is the time for break. Stay with us.